stories start with the same words, and this is one of those stories. It starts with Once Upon a Time. Once upon a time, Princess Petunia lived in a tall white castle on a tiny little island in the middle of the ocean. Now, every morning after breakfast, Petunia would get up. She would walk over to a chair that sat in the corner of her room. She would put her hands on her face and she would go, hum. Every day after lunch, she would walk to her bedroom, over to the chair, sit herself down, hum. And you'll never guess what she did after dinner. She was a very unhappy princess. Now her mother, who was the queen, and her father, who was the king, were worried about their daughter, and so one day her mother came in to the room and said, "Little Petunia, isn't there something that we can do to make you happy?" Her father joined the mother and said, "Yes, anything you want." Petunia sat in her chair. Pickles. Well, her father looked down, her mother looked at her and said, "Pickles? That's a very strange request." But the king said, "If our little girl wants pickles, I shall order a jar of pickles." The very next morning, the jar of pickles appeared. It was a very large jar with great big pickles. Petunia got off of her chair. She unscrewed the lid of the jar, took out a pickle, and she ate it. It made her mouth happy for 2 whole minutes. So she went and she had another pickle. But this pickle only made her mouth happy for 1 minute. She finally took a third pickle out of the jar. She was tired of eating pickles, so she marched herself out of the castle right down to the edge of the sea, and she took that pickle and she threw it out into the ocean. And as that pickle dropped beneath the waves, up from the waves jumped a great glistening fish and said, "Whoa, what a yummy pickle! How about a kiss?" Petunia looked at the fish. She'd never seen a talking fish before, let alone a talking fish that wanted a kiss. She shook her head and said, "I don't think I want to kiss you, but why can you talk?" The fish looked at it. "I'm the wishing fish. You gave me a yummy pickle. I'll give you a wish. What do you wish for?" Petunia had to think for a minute, and then she said, "I wish that my island was bigger, that I had a bicycle path all the way around the outside edge, a swimming pool with a water slide and a trampoline to jump on." "Okay, okay," and the fish disappeared beneath the waves. The next morning, Petunia woke up, rubbed her eyes, got up and looked out of the window, and all of her wishes had come true. The bicycle path, the swimming pool, the trampoline. She went outside and she played, and she was happy for 3 hours. And then she walked inside. She sat down in her chair. There was another pickle in the jar. I wonder if I could get another wish. So she took the pickle and she ran as fast as she could. It took her longer. Her island was bigger now. And she threw that pickle out into the ocean. Out of the waves jumped that fish. "Hey, another yummy pickle. How about a kiss for a fish, cutie?" Petunia shook her head. "I would get fish slime on my pretty princess lips." "But I gave you another pickle." "Yes, you did. I suppose you want a wish. What do you wish for this time?" Petunia thought. "I think I wished for toys. I would like a dollhouse with a whole dollhouse family. I would like building blocks so I could build superstructures. I would like an art set with an art easel, pasted glue and paper and paint." "Okay, okay, okay," and the fish disappeared. The next day when Petunia woke up, why, it was like having her birthday 100 times. New toys everywhere. She got up and she played, but she was only happy for 2 hours. She sat down in her chair and there was another pickle, one last pickle in the jar. She thought, "I wonder if one last pickle would get me another wish." So she took her last pickle, she went to the edge of the ocean and she threw the pickle out, and again that fish appeared. "Hey there, how about it?" "No, I do not want to kiss you." "Okay, I suppose since you gave me a pickle you want another wish." "Yes, I do." "Well, what do you wish for?" "I don't know, I'm just not a very happy princess." And okay, okay, and with that the fish disappeared. Petunia thought, Did I make a wish? She didn't think she had. She went back in and went to bed that night. In the morning when she woke up, all of the new things that she'd wished for were gone. Her island was smaller again, and she thought, that fish tricked me. She had no more pickles, but she went down to the edge of the sea and she looked and she said, "Fish, fish, come back. I'll give you a kiss this time." But no fish appeared. Instead, while Petunia stood there looking very sad and forlorn at the edge of the ocean, up to her island floated a boat, and in that boat were children just her age. They got off. They showed Petunia how to make sandcastles by the edge of the sea. They raced races across the palace lawn. Petunia and her new friends played for the entire day. And finally, at the end of the day, as her friends started to get back on their boat, she turned to go to the castle, to walk up to her room to sit in her chair, when one of her friends tapped her on the shoulder, handed her an invitation. It said, "Please come to my island tomorrow." Well, from that day on, Princess Petunia and all of her friends sailed from island to island, and as far as I know, all of those new friends lived happily ever after.